Hey everyone, I'm Yogi. Welcome to my channel, and yes, I am still sick ever since I returned from my mountaineering trip. And if you don't know about my mountaineering trip or haven't seen the vlogs, which you should, I'll link them below. And I don't know about you guys, but when you're sick, at least once a week, there's this one type of food. It's the one food I crave and the one food that I want when I'm sick. It's mac and cheese. And so I've had that at least once a week so far. And I have a certain way of making my mac and cheese. So I make the mac and cheese and then I put 1/4 cup Parmesan, and then I'll put maybe like 3 to 4 tablespoons of Chipotle Cholula, which is my favorite hot sauce. And then you grind a pepper in it and it'll hit the spot if you're sick. So give that a shot. Yeah, shout out to all the sick people. I guess this is where my video is starting out. Since my last mountaineering vlog, a question came up again, and I took no offense to it at all. So if you were the one who asked that question, I took no offense to it at all. It's a question that has been asked multiple times and I just haven't fully addressed it. So I hope this video answers your question, as well as a ton of other people that have been curious about it as well. So the question is how am I able to ride a motorcycle? There's a couple things that I have to address, and my nerve damage is lipomeningocele. It's just a type of nerve damage, and what it is I can't move my left ankle up, down, left, or right. And bringing it up in my mountaineering vlogs, I felt was essential because I wanted you guys to understand fully the extent that I'm putting my body through and why it's such an adrenaline rush and why I feel so much better when I come back from these trips, because I'm able to do them. Keep in mind though, I don't take it lightly. I work out really hard to do the things that I do. And then the second thing is the position of my foot. So the position that my foot is, even in a brace, is that with my foot drop, it rolls toward the arch and it pops my left foot more toward the left, somewhat pigeon-toed. And because of that, when I'm sitting on my motorcycle, I'm unable to touch the stock shifter on the motorcycle. So because of that, me and my husband have created multiple prototypes, and you know, there's always still room for development, and we're still continuously thinking about it. But for now, this is the shifter that works. And right here, this is the shifter that is made out of a copper pipe, just from Home Depot. And then on the end, we put sandpaper and some electric tape. And this is what works. And it's a really cool shifter because I can actually slip it on or off. It didn't damage the bike at all, so I could sell this bike again if I wanted to. And I can actually use my shifter and attach it to another motorcycle if I wanted to. The third thing to address is my motorcycle boots. Buying a motorcycle boot is definitely arduous with my brace because of how bulky my brace is. So I guess, actually I should backtrack. The third thing is talking about the brace that I use. So this is the brace that I use every day just to walk, and it's polypropylene. And it is a little bit thicker and bulky right here on these sides. And because of the extrusion that wraps around my ankle, this is what prevents me of getting boots, certain types of boots. So I have to have a criteria for the boots I'm going to buy. So, but before I get into that, with this brace, what happens with this brace, it helps keep my ankle at a 90-degree angle with a little bit of give, a little bit of flex, because when you're on a motorcycle, your ankle kind of bends a little bit to make it somewhat comfortable to allow you to slide your foot underneath the shifter. Now going on, I guess, to the fourth item, which is my boot. There are 3 things when purchasing a motorcycle boot that I have to consider. The first part is that the toe area has to be thin enough that it would allow me to comfortably slip my foot underneath the homemade shifter. And 2, the boot has to allow me to fully unlace it or fully unzip it so that I can slip my brace and my foot inside the boot. 3rd, the boot just can't be too heavy because it'll be too much for my ankle to even support. So here are the two boots that I own. One is for canyon riding or track days when I wear my tracksuit, and the other one is my everyday boot. So with my everyday boot, you can see that it's definitely worn through. I love these boots because I don't need to use a shoehorn, and the shoehorn that I have, I like to jokingly call it the pimp cane because it's really heavy and it's gold colored. What? And riding with these boots are just so comfortable, and just they make riding a lot easier for me. Now with my track boots, it's a different story. I specifically purchased because the internal brace can be taken out, and I had to cut the lace, and from here I unlaced the entire boot, put my brace and my foot in, and then relaced the entire boot. And then when I put my brace and the internal brace together inside the boot, for lack of a better word, it actually becomes a shit show because I'm wearing a tracksuit, and the tracksuit prevents my mobility twisting and moving certain ways that I normally would to put my brace in a shoe. So it's pretty tricky, not gonna lie. But I make do it, and it happens. And thankfully with this boot, I'm so glad that Alpine Stars made this boot. So like I said before, on my brace, the spots that surround my ankle is the part that extrudes the most, but because this boot has the extendable accordion stretch to it, it allows the boot to fully zip perfectly, and an awesome boot that met all my requirements that I wanted for safety. On my boots that I have on both of them, I attach this piece right here, and you're probably thinking like, oh, it's some like high-tech technical piece that I found and glued to my boot. It's not. It's actually an old Velcro piece from my old mountain biking shoe. And the strap, I just cut it and I use shoe glue and glue it on there. And me extending this ledge right here allows me to be able to catch on to the shifter and shift. So now when I'm on my motorcycle, the movements that I use to shift is not from my ankle. The way that I shift is I shift from my hip. And when I need to shift up, I do this type of movement where I slide underneath the shifter and then lift with my hip and shift up. And if I need to shift down, I just do a C motion and then basically stomping down on the shifter. Not stomping down, but you know, I'm stomping down on the shifter. So here's Soka. So this is the camera setup on a very phallic looking slider. Yes, I am aware of that. And I have it pointing toward my shifter. I hope in this ride and I hope in this angle that you guys will be able to see how I move up and down over the shifter. And you might even see my struggles while I ride. But hopefully this will answer your guys' questions, and okay, let's go ride. this video addresses everyone's questions or questions that people didn't want to ask me but had thought about them. So I hope I answered everyone's questions, and if not, go ahead and comment below and thumbs up this video if you enjoyed watching it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. The winds picked up. Snowstorm did not die down, it actually picked up more. Morning we were tent bound until 10 a.m. Buddy here, he was filming the storm when everyone else was in bed, and he said it was really strong, so he was able to catch this footage right here that you see, and all of our tents just being like washed over with a bunch of snow. And by around 10, I believe 10 a.m., it was a really quick powwow to discuss what we were gonna do, since right now the safety of the team, we could not summit to Matterhorn Peak. Third day, what we did was just an entire snow school. The guide taught us the proper footing to navigate up a mountain, walk down the mountain, and he taught us how to properly use our ice axe and why you need your ice axe.